Thanks, guys. And of course, the band, you know what, we open every time. Let's really celebrate the hard work they put in and make this a fun show. Thank you, guys. What is that?
What's happening right now? Why are they snapping? It must be you.
I told everybody yesterday, like all day today, don't applaud for any of these people. Only snappers.
That is weird.
I had it yesterday. It was weird, dude. It was like
Weird.
I think, you know, when you're up in the Bay Area, though, you can always celebrate beat culture. You know, it's where the hipsters started up here.
Yeah.
You know, I was born up here, right? So I was born in Palo Alto. And then lived in Menlo Park. I claimed the hood. My town, the hood. So it's always a great place to be and a great place to come back to. It's great to see you guys.
good to see you too, man. This is the first time we're seeing each other just now, so that hug was the first hug we had.
It was genuine. I didn't go to the bar last night. I was like, you know, I'm gonna get my rest. So not me, but you know, sometimes you gotta try contrary action.
You talking about last night?
Yeah.
I was like, something must be wrong with Lee.
No, you know
Is he
what?
okay?
We were all a little worried, to be honest.
Where is he?
No, I was like, I was tired. School just started in LA. I don't know if school started, so my dude, I have a kid that's in 5th grade, and that's like I'm on the school train, so I'm getting up early and gotta get the lunch made, and you know, I'm tired living life. I'm old. All right, so if you have any questions for us, the way we work them, and as if you don't know, there's microphones on the side of the stage, so please come up with some great questions for the Wild crew, and we will do our best to entertain you. And I don't know, I'll just start it out with, you know, how much we appreciate the fans, you know. The acting business, it's one of the only art forms where if someone's not watching you, you're not actually doing it. So, it's true, right? Think about it. So, you're such an integral part of our success, the success of the show, and a show like Once Upon a Time is really driven by the craziness and the love, the passion of the fans. And it's not lost on us how much we appreciate you and really love the support that we've had over the years.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right.
My question is for Lee. Who's your favorite character on Once Upon a Time?
Grumpy. No, I mean, no, it's actually true. I do like myself.
100% true. That is his favorite character by far.
I just, you know what's
He has posters in his bedroom of Grumpy.
Oh, I have pirate posters. I got all my posters up there. I just stare at
All
myself.
signed autographs.
That's all I do. I collect my own autograph. That's probably the truest answer that anyone will give all weekend. I actually, you know what? I'll tell you something. Once upon a time, let's be honest. The great characters that I love are the ones you love. I mean, give me some Regina. Give me some Mr. Gold and some Rumple. I loved, you know, being in scenes with Ginny Goodwin. Ginny's such an amazing actor and such a giving character, and to have that, our relationship between Snow and Grumpy was really special and something I cherish. But it's funny, everybody throws down on that show. There's not one kind of actor that gets cast in that show that's not a badass actor, you know?
Well, except for Josh Dallas.
Man, Josh, you are in so much trouble. You pick on Josh all the time.
That's being tweeted right now, too. And he's being tagged in that tweet.
And he loves that kind of attention. Gosh, I'm not, you know, Josh is my boy, and he's your boy. You're
Say is I sent him some pictures yesterday.
Did you?
I dressed up like his wife and sent him naughty photos.
Only you, Coleman.
When you say naughty, what do you mean?
He means like
I don't believe you.
He means him not tipping the waiter.
I think it's 11:35, and we're already past the PG rating. It is a Disney show. Yeah, you know, watch out for his axe for sure. All of our axes are dangerous.
They have nice axes though, for sure. Nice axe, guys. I think we have a question on this side.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for
Morning.
entertaining all of us for the past 6 seasons. It's been a blessing and a wonderful journey. But my question for you guys, since you guys are the Wild Bunch, if you could play any other character on the show, what character would it fit?
I did this yesterday, and I said Rumple, but I mean, there's so many that I would play. I would love to be Badass Granny too. Yeah! I think the badassness of her and the sort of matriarchal kind of thing, I think, kind of jives with me. It's an odd pick, but it's my pick, and I'm taking it. So thank you.
I would have to say probably Charming. Though I would just want to play Prince Eric more, honestly. Like, I need more Prince Eric, I think. But thank you. I feel like I just barely got to scratch the surface with that one, so we'll see.
I was going to say something else, but then I'm sitting beside this tall drink of water, and I'm like, how would I not be the Little Mermaid?
We know what you're into.
She gets paid to kiss this guy.
Tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
You are naughty, Michael. You are naughty.
He comes out of the gate, it's 11:40, man. You gotta pace yourself. We gotta make it the concert, bro.
I've been like this since 6 a.m.
Coleman wakes up happy and ready to go. I would love a crack at the Rumple. I mean, there's so many great characters. I like wearing the makeup. I like the process of sitting in the chair and transforming and letting other people kind of turn you into something you're not. So just one time I wouldn't mind a chance of wearing that snake skin and then I'd be sick of it, you know? Because that's the other thing too. It's like after 3 hours in the chair, you're like uncomfortable and it's hot and sweaty and you can't scratch your face. It's tough to wear the makeup, but I like the character. I like the way he can vacillate between super evil and kind of a bit of cowardice that's underneath it. And he's such a marvelous actor and someone I look up to. So I'd like a crack at that one day, please, Lord. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Like you in Pirates. What a amazing Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ah, thank you.
So, my question is, so if you, where there's like a moment in your childhood, or would you give any advice to your past selves, or a starting out actress or actor, like what would you give them, like as advice?
If I knew as a kid what I know now, I probably would have done a lot of things differently, honestly. But you know, that's about that's life and growing up. As far as like advice to a young actor, I would just say, you know, work hard, have fun, believe in yourself, love yourself.
I think that's key. I think believing in yourself and loving yourself. So often you've got a really special gift, and especially if you're into acting, and you can disregard that and just think you're being foolish. You're going to have people that will tell you you're being foolish. But a good bit of advice that I wish I had gotten was to just make as many. I did make films and stuff as a kid, just like, you know, home movies. But just to get involved in anything that I could get involved with, and just to like honestly love yourself and love, if you've got a gift for it and you love it, love yourself in it and don't be dissuaded. That's what I would tell myself.
I own an acting school back in Vancouver where we shoot the show, and I am fortunate enough where I've given this advice to young actors, and some of these actors are now on leads on shows like The 100 or High Castle and things of this nature. My advice to you is this is what I do. When I'm not on set, I help people like you do this. My advice is work hard, work smart, and stay on the train. Everybody will tell you that this is an impossible business. What's your B plan? This is a terrible idea. Never do it. And yet you see people like us would do nothing else with our lives. There's nothing else in the world I would do than what I'm doing right now. It hasn't been easy. There's going to be more rejection than yeses. But the truth is if you stay on the train, you work hard and you work smart, you get to be here. And that's what it is. So never give up. If this is what you love, just be good enough that somebody has to pay you to do it. All right?
Yeah. That's great advice. You know, and I always say, to the young actor, I always say, don't do it. And then if you would not hear that kind of advice, then I go, welcome to the club. because it's a lot about, like Mikey says, it's a lot about people that have doubts and create doubt in your mind. So I'd say, number one for me is study hard. Study English. Read the classics. I come from the theater, so there's a lot of great literature. Learn about storytelling. Study how the camera, the technological requirements of filmmaking. All these things will help you as an actor, understanding the process. It's not mystifying you. But the most important thing is be kind to yourself and believe in yourself. And then just go for it like you stole something. Right.
Thank you.
This question is for Lee and Michael. If you had to be any other dwarf, which one would it be?
Gail and I don't get to be a dwarf? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'd be happy because it's like he wakes up happy. It seems fun to me.
I would actually be grumpy. All that time you get to spend with snow, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi. This is a question for Lee. Do you ever wish that they showed the dreamy part of Grumpy before he became grumpy?
Sure. I mean, it was so much fun. I mean, what a great challenge for me to like have to kind of create something, a pre-story for my character. It's easier to be grumpy. The dreamy thing I found a little scary, like, will anyone believe me that I'm hatched out of an egg with a full beard. It's like, baby rabbi!
You should meet our mother. Oh.
Yeah, like, which came first, the chicken or the dwarf egg? Like, what was that? So, but the great thing is, like, we're challenged as actors to suspend our disbelief, to believe in whatever the story is. And we were lucky enough on Once to we have great writing. So you just kind of like go with it. Acting isn't that crazy of a business. You just kind of read the script and do what it says. Like a lot of people will sit up here and say, oh, I put all this work into my character. I mean, yeah, of course you have to work hard, but basically just do what it says on the paper. And follow the direction and stand on your light and, look the other guy in the eye and then don't hit the furniture on the way out. Right? So, the real thing, the joy of the challenge for a lot of us on Once was that we played multiple aspects of the character. Grumpy is the way he is because he had his heart broken. He made a mistake in trying to tell his girlfriend how to love, and that's a great lesson for everyone. But if they were to bring some dreamy back, I'd hopefully just try my best to make it believable. But it's hard to be dreamy because he knows nothing and Grumpy knows everything, so it's tough. Thanks.
Hi, I've been auditioning since I was 3, so I was just wondering if you guys have any interesting audition stories?
I got something that are not permitted in this room. And the audition process to me is the worst. It's scary. It's when you doubt yourself. I mean, acting is the only business, guys, and this is one of the reasons why it sucks. It's like none of us can go and say, hey, we want to work. That we look needy when you do that. So expressing desire in front of someone who's casting you almost have to walk in there like you don't want the job, right? You're acting from the moment you walk in, right? This is a trick I do. I don't know if you guys do this, but when I go to an audition, in my mind, I always have an eject button. And it's like, I don't want to talk too much. I want to nail my lines. I want to seem like I'm really fun to hang out with. Eject! Right, because you can go too far, then you go into needy, and they go, too needy, needs a job.
That is so funny you say that.
So true.
When I booked Once Upon a Time, they actually we did about 7 or 8 rounds of casting for the dwarves, and I wasn't invited to any of them till the final round. And they gave us Grumpy's lines, but just said, read it happily, or read it bashfully. And like all of your dialogue is so negative and angry. So really, like it was such a ridiculous exercise. It was near impossible. But on the drive over to the audition, I got a call from my wife, and we found out we were pregnant with our first child. Yeah. So I walked in, and I'm like, I don't even care. Like today, I don't.
You just nailed happy at that moment.
So
you nailed happy.
I walked into the room, and they were all grumpy because they hadn't seen what they were looking for, and they said, like the most negative, hostile voice possible. So, are you happy? I just got my wife pregnant on the first try. I couldn't prove otherwise. And it was crazy, because that's what they did. And when they did this, I haven't said a word yet of the audition. I wanted to mic drop and eject it. And I'm like, oh, I think I just booked this. Don't say another word. Don't say another word.
I've had some great auditions. I've had some terrible ones. Some that you just want to block out of your memory, and then some that go fantastically. You never really know. Years ago, I went in and I read for a movie. I hadn't thought about this until you asked this question. I hadn't thought about it in years, but I went in and I read for a movie, and the director really liked me, but he didn't like me for the part I read for. But he liked what I did, and there was a smaller part of the movie of Elvis, and he asked me if I would be interested in reading Elvis. I was like, absolutely. So he gave me the sides, the scene from the film, and he asked me to go take some time with it. I walked out and I took maybe like 2 minutes with it. I was so nervous, and but I knew Elvis, so I took a couple minutes with it, and I went back in and I knocked it out of the park, and I ended up getting the part. So that's one of those where you just never know. You show up, you do the best you can in the moment, and then you never know what might come from it.
It can often be the ones that you feel the worst at are the ones that you book. And I think that speaks to what Lee was talking about with not sort of being desperate or whatever, and you kind of go in, you feel sort of self-deprecating and that you didn't do it very well. Sometimes those are when you're sort of most grounded. One of my interesting stories was actually for Once Upon a Time, and for me it was, we did like, I think about 3 or 4 rounds, and we didn't know who the character was at the time, so I was brought in, I did it kind of British, and then they brought me back in, North American, back to British, back to North American, and we didn't even know until the day I was on set, which I was gonna do. So it was interesting. It was an interesting audition process, probably the longest audition process I've been through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question.
Best of luck.
Hi. Okay, so we kind of saw some hints of different styles in the series. Like you did the musical, and then you had like the black and white Dr. Frankenstein episodes. If you could do an episode in any kind of like film or show style, what would you pick? Like,
I would do steampunk. Purely aesthetically. I'm a huge fan of just that aesthetic. And I think everybody in steampunk kind of outfits would be freaking dope.
I would do, this is off the top of my head, it's a good question, I've never had this one before, but I did a movie in China years ago, a kung fu movie called Warriors of Virtue. So I would do an episode of Once Upon a Time, like a Hong Kong kung fu movie, with all the wires and the flying, and we don't get enough like sword fighting, axe fighting. That would be great. I have a whole episode where everyone would get to fight. Because I love doing action movies, and I think that would be so cool. And the dialogue would be either dubbed under or subtitled, or just mismatched, you know? Oh, yeah, cool, you know, just be that for an hour. So Charming wants my bike. Every actor would play a different character, but as that character. So, you know, everyone's voice would be like, so the audience would be like, what is going on? That would be my episode.
I think you're onto something with that one, man. That sounds good.
I love that, yeah. I might say the same thing, but animated, like Dragon Ball Z style. I think that'd be kind of fun.
I have to say something set probably in like the 40s or 50s in Los Angeles. Noir, like film noir type thing, you know? I think that'd be fun.
Could you imagine the 7 dwarf private detective agents?
I don't know if you saw, Michael, but on Eureka they actually animated an entire episode. It was like is it Franklin Bass, that Christmas style? They did that kind of stop motion animation. They did anime, and they did just classic Hanna-Barbera style animation. So every character got to go through each one of these animations.
I'll tell you what else would be wicked cool: an episode where we were all Muppets.
I'm down.
Because Josh Dallas is already a Muppet.
Again, the Twitter, Josh Dallas. Coleman thinks you're...
We miss you, Josh. Love you, buddy.
I love you so much.
Thank you. That was a really fun question. Thank you so much.
Why did you look up when you just said that? He's okay.
Josh is Michael Caine.
I think he's okay, guys.
He didn't leave the show, he died.
No, he's upstairs.
No, Josh is his God.
It's right behind you.
Hi.
In other projects, what character do you like about what you did?
Sorry?
The other projects that you have done.
Like other shows?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you like about those?
Like fun other characters that we've done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love being a pirate, man. I used to say this, I got real lucky. It's sort of off that audition story, but they couldn't find short, bald, and crazy in London. And so I got the part, but I lived in the Caribbean for years. I would take a speedboat to work, and I would hang with Keira Knightley all day. It's like, this is the thing as an actor too. I think it's important in life. And this always panels with me about life lessons, you guys, and gratitude. Gratitude list. I don't know if you ever do this, but wake up in the morning one day and write what you're thankful for before you realize what you're resentful over. But acknowledging that stuff and kind of putting it on paper kind of puts you in a great place. And as actors, we ask the universe for the most shallow dream. Lord, recognize me! And then they do. Then the God goes, okay, man, here's your chance, put up or shut up. Right? And then the pressure's on. Oh, everyone's watching, But what you do is you make sure to check in and you be thankful for the opportunity. Be thankful for what you have, my friends, and then more blessings come in, I would be on the middle of this ocean. I'd be the sun would be setting, or it'd be rising, or it'd be just magical. And I always took that 2 seconds to be thankful and realize just how far and how lucky to have this opportunity. Then give me my sword and I'm going to smash people,
Sure, I have a film coming out this fall where I got to play Dr. Watson in a Sherlock Holmes feature, and it's a story based, Stephen King had written one Sherlock Holmes story, so that's something I'm super stoked about, to be a part of that universe. That's something not unlike Once Upon a Time, where, these are all characters we all grew up with, so I think Sherlock Holmes is another one of those franchises, so I feel pretty lucky to be a part of that.
We're excited too, to watch it.
Yeah, it should be fun.
I think that's a great character for you, by the way.
It's kind of the Barney Rubble Sherlock Holmes.
Or the Jude Law, for that matter.
Oh, these guys turned.
Jude Law? Oh, what an insult.
What a pig.
I would have to say, okay, so about 4 years ago, I was lucky enough to book the part of Henry Winchester on a show called Supernatural, which was going to be my character too. And not only was it just such a fun role to play. So basically, if you don't know Supernatural, Sam and Dean are the two brothers. Jared and Jensen play Sam and Dean. And they're okay. I got to play their paternal grandfather from 1958. So it was flashbacks and time travel, and it was so much fun. But the coolest thing about it is that it opened the door for me to get to do these conventions, and I mean that. It has literally changed my life in such an amazing way, and it was so unexpected. But because I got to play Winchester, the Supernatural fans were so welcoming and wonderful, and then I got to meet everyone at Creation Entertainment, and it's just changed my life. So I started doing Supernatural conventions, and then lucky enough, Once Upon a Time came along, and Creation just happened to have Once Upon a Time conventions. So I consider myself very blessed to be here. But yeah, Henry Winchester.
And I'm not trying to piggyback off his, but mine was probably Ronald Resnick from Supernatural as well. I was in season 2, and I just got to play the funnest guy. He was sort of a conspiracy theorist, but it turns out he was right. I'm not going to give anything away. But I actually got to go down in the middle of Vancouver and shoot a shotgun in a bank and yell, "This is not a robbery!"
That was before he got the part.
That was before I got the part, so that's on the way to the audition.
Bad way.
No, but that was like, it was so much fun. The guy was like, you get to play, sometimes it's easy to play crazy. This guy was like vulnerable and sweet and crazy, and it was lovely. It was one of the best experiences for me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have 2 questions. My first question is, do you think you're ever going to get back with Nova?
Is that for me or Lee? Uh-oh.
I don't actually. I don't think that, you know, not every character kind of, you say, deserves a happy ending, but in a way maybe his happy ending is the lessons learned from that bad relationship or the way he messed it up. But I mean, maybe they'll do something like that. The writers are smarter than me, but trust me, I'd be on my best behavior. And Amy Acker, she's on a new Marvel show now, so I don't know if she's available, but it would be fun, but I doubt it.
My second question is, what is the worst fail you ever had in your acting?
Worst fail?
Wow. Worst fail.
Oh,
This panel?
It's not that bad, is it?
No, it's actually really good.
Okay, good. Phew. Mine was
crushing it.
Mine was a terrible one. It was I can't even remember the name of the show right now, but I completely blanked. I was called in at like 7 in the morning, and I didn't get on until 7 that night. And all I was doing was going over my lines. By the time I actually got to set, and this can happen sometimes, is they become absolutely meaningless to you. Like say cucumber 100 times in a row, and then try and discern in your brain what a cucumber is. That's what happened, basically. I just went over my lines until it was gobbledygook, and I went on set, and I didn't have it at all. And it was the one time where it was like, I was completely drawing a blank, and that was terrible for me. Very scary, very scary. 100 people standing there waiting for you, watching you. Just do it, we want to go home. Just do it, Kojak. Somebody give him sides. Just do it.
Wow, the worst fail. I've had some failures in the audition room for sure, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. The only thing that really comes to mind here, in the moment, years ago I worked on ER. I was in the last 2 seasons of ER. Yeah, and John Stamos came on the show, and I think it was his first week, you know, and he's John Stamos, and he was lovely, but there was a sequence, you know, they did a lot of that walk and talk stuff with the camera, and I had the last line of this 5-minute walk and talk thing that started at one end of the ER in the elevator with Stamos, and he walked through 2 different rooms and had all this dialogue, and then I'm supposed to enter and deliver one of the last lines. And I just blew it. I just came out and just fell on my face, could not remember my lines.
And it was a wonder?
And Stamos was like, "Come on, Gil! God! Oh, I'm sorry, John. I'm so sorry."
Crew member going, "Just do it, Gil. We want to go home."
He's like, "Oh." Yeah, so, yeah, what are you going to do?
I just haven't made a mistake yet.
Of course not. Happy.
But I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to get your email, and when I make a mistake, I'm going to email you.
You do have swagger. I like you.
I think the key thing is knowing that you can mess up. I mean, I can't even, the hundreds of times I've blown stuff, ridiculous. The ones that really cost you are the ones where you're you miss your mark and they're blowing up the ship in the background. You're they go, and action, explosion, wait a minute, hey! I got my tennis shoes on. So many.
Reset the ship.
Yeah, reset.
Come on.
That'll be
Come on, Gil. Let's do this, Lee. We want to go home.
You just cost the mouse $250,000. And I'm so? I'm sorry. Oops. You know, I think that there's someone that holds the script, you know. I mean, when you're miscast, that's on them. You know, I will say the greatest fails are the jobs you don't get. Because at the end of the day, Jeffrey Rush, man, taught me a great lesson on Pirates about this. There's a scene in Pirates in the first movie where my character and my buddy have captured Elizabeth Turner. We think she's the key to freeing us from our zombiness. And we bring her on the ship. And Jeffrey had a 2-page monologue that involved the monkey. But the monkey kept messing up. Like supposed to grab the gold, climb here, look there, share a look, laugh, do this. The monkey just wasn't into it, man. He's like, oh, you're not, I don't like the crafty, whatever, no bananas, not right, you know. So everyone is just like panicking because Jeffrey Rush has won an Academy Award, and you know, every take. Now we're on take 27. We've had lunch. People are starting to grip, and he stays with me. I got it, Lauren, I'll speed up.
This is like the Academy Awards when they start playing the music. Except here it's like,
I'm not kidding till I finish. This is a 12-minute story. But basically, the monkey trainer sits below the camera with a squirt gun and is like aiming it right at the monkey and goes blast him in the face and he doesn't do exactly what's said and nails Rush in the face a couple times, you know. So at the end of the day, I mean, 35, 38 takes. I mean, on a big movie, that's a lot. 5 takes is a lot on a big movie because you rehearse it a lot. Big sequence. So 38, 12 hours or whatever it was. I'm like, Jeffrey, like, that was amazing, you know? How you stayed focused and stayed calm. He goes, if I didn't make, we'd still be out there. You know, so sometimes you just gotta hang in. You're not gonna have your best game, but realize that everyone does it. Just don't take it personally and freak out. You know, we're all gonna mess lines up. We're all gonna cause ships to explode the wrong way. But it's the way you handle it. When you go, hey, that's why I'm the actor and you're over there, man. You know, the worst thing that'll happen is they'll fire you. So always make your mistake after you got 2 weeks in the can, because then it costs them a lot and they're stuck with you.
thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Rebecca. I'm from San Jose, California. Hey, what's up?
What's up, San Jose?
All right, my question is for Gil. I always kind of wonder what your character's life was like before, after, when he was cursed, and how it was before he met up with Ariel and all that stuff. So I was wondering, what would you think what your character's life was like before and after the curse and stuff?
Of course, you got to ask me a question about the show. My hypothetical before meeting Ariel, I was just a man about town, having a lot of fun and enjoying the
adjustment of the evening, if you will.
Of you know, some beautiful women in the castle and around the perimeter. Yeah, but then I meet Ariel and everything changes, you know? Everything changes. And I really don't know what's going on that island or what we're up to, but I'd love to find out. Wouldn't you guys like to find out too? Yeah. I think it'd be great. I'm sure there's a lot of rolling in the sand. So I see it. It's like that, was that Chris Isaac video? That famous Chris Isaac video? That's kind of what that's where I would go with it, but, you know, I don't write the show, so. Probably.
He's like bagging groceries, you know, whatever the character. It's like, you have a healthy fantasy about it.
When they told me I was chopping fish heads off, I was like, really?
No, he doesn't do that. He's a man about town.
New hashtag for Gil McKinney, man about town.
I love that.
Okay, Lee and Gil, I love you both, but I'm curious to know what Michael...
Sorry, Michael, leave it. We're on a limited time crunching.
And I love you.
So I'm curious to know if Michael or Chris their characters had a chance to have a love interest, which they did not, on Once Upon a Time, what would you have chosen, or who would you have chosen for your love?
Each other.
I'm not opposed. But I'm going back to the whole Granny thing. I think Smee would be down with some Granny.
What is this about?
You've seen my wife. She's young and beautiful. thought that he would meet
It's
somebody
the food.
tough and somebody alpha to his beta.
So you're a bottom.
This is getting naughty, this panel, you guys.
This is the greatest panel ever. Michael,
Who do I think I'd be in love with?
who do you? Yeah, that was the question. Who you gonna hook up with? All?
Who would you? No.
Everybody?
Monogamous. I'm a dwarf.
That's why you said.
You are scaring people now.
He's used to sharing space with multiple people, so.
Yeah, I've always had lots of roommates.
Wow.
Very diplomatic. This guy wants you to pick red.
Happily.
Thank you. That was fun.
Who's your favorite actor to work with on the show?
Wow, I've worked with so many. Yeah. Of the three I worked with? Wow. Well, I guess I'll get in trouble if I don't say Joanna. Other than Joanna, I'd say Karen David. She was absolutely wonderful to work with. I was lucky enough to get to do a scene with Karen and Odette Fair and Joanna in season 6, so that was cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Karen David.
She's awesome. We miss her here, actually. She's great. Mine probably just because the extent of the scene, like Colin. Colin's my favorite to sort of work with, but one of the funnest scenes I've even ever got to shoot was the scene with Robert Carlyle in the bar. That was a huge lesson in acting, or more a lesson in reacting, because all I had to do was sit there and be scared as hell and just react like, okay, It's genuine fear, that scene. So that for me is good. And so Colin and Robert.
I mean, it's crazy because we've got to work with people like Barbara Hershey, Robert Carlyle, Lana Parrilla, like Colin, Jennifer, like there's so many great names, but in all honesty, with every ounce of sincerity, it's this guy. This is literally, this guy is an absolute legend. He has been a legend for a long time, and he will be a legend for a much, much longer time, and we've become like family. So like, this is literally, I love you, buddy.
Because, I've explained how I roll with a lot of gratitude, so, I'm on the team, but I'm on the bench. I'm a role player, right? So what a character actor does, so they call my number, man. I'm good, coach. I get to go in with Lana? Awesome. Bobby's gonna choke me out? Whoa. I get to, be intimate with, Emily, have some conversation with the Belle character, who's great with Grumpy. I love it. I get to, who's this co-star? Oh my God. So, I think, you bring it every time in this business. You have respect for the other guy. That's how you gain respect for yourself. I love my dwarf brothers. When me and Mikey got a lot of scenes together, they're so much fun. We create this whole life, in how we work. But it's that generosity of spirit where you really have to give your respect in life to get your respect. You don't walk in there thinking you're awesome. You earn that, And the actors of Once Upon a Time are a classy bunch, and that's what makes it. It's the generosity. It's the listening. That's what makes a good actor. It's like when you can read their mind. It's never what they say. The best actor's saying one thing with his mouth and another thing with his eyes. And that's what Lana, that's what J-Mo, that's what everyone does on a consistent basis. There's something going on underneath. So, respectfully, it's a tough one to answer, but my dwarf brothers, anytime they call my number, give it to me, coach. Give me the ball. I want the rock. That's the attitude you need to be a pro. You want it. You want the pressure. I like to be funny.
I also sometimes act with my hips, my eyes, my words,
and your hips don't lie, so that's like.
Come on to Once Upon a Time tonight, the concert, and watch those hips in action.
So my question's for Lee. I had the pleasure of working on the latest Pirates franchise in Australia. I just want to know what it's like for you working on a big franchise like that compared to Once Upon a Time?
And could you answer in an Australian accent?
No, I didn't. Where's Australian? Wow. I mean, they're both. You know, the thing about it is, you know, they're both big franchises in a way. The big movie thing, though, there's something really seductive about the movie business for me as an actor. I mean, I admit that, like, you know, seeing yourself on the screen like that, it gets you. The movie screen, the power of that movie theater, you know, I find that really, really intoxicating and seductive to me, and that's where my ego goes out of control. Oh, you know. And also the way Jerry made those movies, as you well know. I mean, he's a golden age filmmaker. He believed in, you know, going to real locations, being on the water on a real ship, investing in things that the money that he makes, you know, that he gets to make his movies, millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, goes on the screen. And, you know, television is a faster pace, and you're doing more pages of dialogue a day. And in the movie, you have a little bit more time to work on an action sequence for months and months before you shoot it. But again, we're lucky. I mean, to travel the world and tell stories, it's not lost on me the blessings of our you know, success, and that, you know, there's always going to be someone more famous, better looking, funnier than me. You know, I know that. But at the same time, you know what? I just do the best I can, and I bring it hard. And don't mistake my kindness for weakness, because, you know, like someone coming up to me, hey, does your dog bite? I'm like, who cares about the dog? He's got a pit bull for an owner. You know, it's like, worry about me. I'm gonna bite if I have to. I'm gonna give you a hug, but, you know, it's that attitude that I think carries, and that's what film to me means. It's like people that went for it, catching lightning in a bottle. It's magical. I wish I'd been on that, because I really would like to have gone down to the Gold Coast. Looked like it was a lot of fun. All right, cheers. We'll talk about that later.
Say it's here!
Guys, what's that?
Say it's here! It's here! It's here! It's here!
It's here! Guys, I want to tell you, this is one of the best Wild Crew panels. Anytime I get to share the stage with my brothers, who we also perform tonight, I have a lot of love for you guys. It's always, I mean, I think that time flies by. Have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. I love you guys, and you know, let's have a great time. All right? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.